on yet. I have no idea what day it is today. Hello, everyone.
It's Friday. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. It is Friday, November 19th, 2021. Time for Farm Talk Friday.
Woo-woo!
We are here at the Green Wave House. My name is Ken Jordan. This is Giovanna Jordan, my beautiful wife.
Thanks, baby.
And we try to do this every week. Sunlight going onto my face, which I'll try to avoid.
We have high production value.
Yes.
It's Farm Talk Friday.
All right. Anyway, so I thought I would.
There it is. Hey, and we're back.
Okay. Hey, sometimes or all the time, right? We turn our Wi-Fi and Bluetooth off from our phones at night. But my phone normally turns all that stuff back on in the morning. Somehow it didn't happen, so we were trying to do it with the 3G cell phone signal. Anyway, let's just continue on. I thought I would show some of the stuff we picked out from the community garden because we live in community. A bunch of somewhat like-minded individual home and property owners here at Rancho Delicioso. But anyway, I got some oranges, some grapefruit, some limes, mostly all citrus today.
Yes, so in the future, because we have our own citrus trees, we won't even need to go to the community garden for those ones.
That's right. We're going to give it all to other people. Now, this week, from our property.
This is one of our prized possessions here.
This is jicama, which we've shown before, but we love it and we're always super happy whenever we get it. Also, we've got some apple bananas, which are fantastically delicious.
This is the size, they're kind of smaller.
And then these are kaffir limes.
Yeah, but that's not really maybe supposed to be a good term. So we call them kai limes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Delvin was saying, he's like, these are expensive in Nicaragua. It was an expensive tree for us to buy. It's like more of a delicacy, but they are supposed to be more medicinal. And I'm looking at, like the light on you.
So yeah, we're going to try these out and see what they're like. Also, Janine's been posting a whole bunch of amazing photos of other things going on around the farm. And what else is going on?
Well, yeah, I did. That's okay. I put, we did a photo stream or a photo dump just before Farm Talk Friday, so you can go on and check out what our week's been like. So there was other things that we didn't have available that are not right behind us that we're gonna pull out that are on that photo stream, like Sacha Inchi, which is jungle peanut. We have some new ones. They're just in the sun right now because they need 3 days to dry in the sun before we can store them. And then to be really honest, we haven't done anything with our Sacha Inchis in over a year. And every time we think about it, because we somehow we're actually very busy.
Somehow.
Well, okay, I know. We're very busy people. So sometimes we look at our storehouse of nuts, and especially with the Sacha Inchi, we're like, what are we going to do with these? We know what to do with the cashews, but that's a hassle. So we have to set aside a lot of brain power for that. And the Sacha Inchi, we forgot how to do it, and we need to get back to Sacha Inchi roasting.
We've got a lot of nuts that we've got to do something with.
Yeah.
But speaking of nuts, this week.
Full Moon Loco?
No.
No.
We've had a lot of bread nuts.
Yes. So bread nuts are not breadfruit, but they actually the trees look different to someone that's paying attention. Ken is opening up our fridge and he's going to show you what the bread nuts look like in just a moment. But the actual fruit of it kind of looks the same, and it's a little spiky on the outside, and in a way it almost looks like it could be from far away, in the same family as soursop, guanabana. Tastes, they're totally different, but it's this it's about this size, and they have these like little spiky things on it. But anyways, bread nuts are like chestnuts.
Yeah, I wish we could show you the fruit as it comes off the tree, and then the nut after you pull it out of the fruit. And then this is the third thing. This is the inside. This is what you eat, and they're very similar to water chestnuts.
No, chestnuts.
Very similar to chestnuts.
Yeah, water chestnuts are different.
That's totally
That's
different.
like Asian
Yeah,
food.
yeah.
Yeah, so we boiled these ones and
Well, these weren't steamed?
or I'm sorry, we steamed them, but you can boil them
And you can roast them.
and you can roast them. So we have some in the stove actually that I roasted today. So we had 2 bread nuts and one came yesterday and one came today. So
Hey, Joe Guffey, what's up?
woo woo! And John Moon, hello. So so what else? I think that you need to tell everybody about the worms. I think that was super success, and I had very
Oh
little
my
faith in it for
God.
the last few weeks.
In the
Like,
chick-
what
in
is
the
this mess, Ken?
In the chicken world, in my burning desire to cut down on how much chicken feed I have to make,
He spent 4 hours last weekend making them chicken feet for like the next few weeks.
yeah, it felt like the entire day. Anyway,
It was
so what we were trying is a new thing where we make like a compost pile just for the chickens. We make some compost with the idea of having, food scraps and stuff, but also a lot of worms inside. Mm-hmm. And then you just kind of dump, well, the idea is you just dump a little pile of this compost in the chicken tractor, in the coop, and then they forage through it and they eat the scraps they want, they eat the worms, and then also they do their chicken scratching and they do all their normal chicken stuff. So apparently it's working.
Yes. So let me just try and explain. So we had this separate pile, and it was like some food scraps, because we also have a lasagna compost, which is like layers of some of the cuttings from outside and like some wood scraps. And so we were separating the 2 composts. Ken always does that. He leaves the refrigerator door open. And I can hear that when we're in the bedroom at night. And he always blames it on Scratch.
I blame it on our cat.
But no, there's not a single person that's watching this live that saw Scratch. He was totally not his culpa today. So anyway, this pile, it was just not looking good because we didn't really know what we were doing exactly. Like Ken had the idea, but I didn't really understand what he was trying to do. And so it was starting to get too wet. And like compost, it needs to be like a certain mix of like dry material and wet material and
it needs to be moist and hot.
Brown and green stuff. And yeah, but this was like sloppy, disgusting, wet. And there, I didn't see worms in it for weeks. I'm like, Ken, what are you trying to do here? All I see are roaches. And, like apparently chickens eat roaches too, but like how are we going to capture the roaches? Because they're really fast. So I was like trying to figure out like how we're going to like capture roaches. And, but Delvin saved us. And what he did is that he decided to add, because we had such a big donation of the grain from our friends at La Pera Hermosa Brewery, that he added that to the mix, and it somehow like perfected the compost. And there's tons of worms in it. And so that was yesterday. We went and checked on it, and everyone was in agreement that it looked good enough to give to the chickens. And so I went in there this morning, with some food, and I saw that the pen looked different than normal. And then Delvin said, "Hey, I already fed them like the worms." Oh, okay, I see what's happening in here, why it looks like kind of different. And he's like, they're really content. So he gave them worms again for lunch. And here comes Scratch.
Look at there.
Oh, there he is. So anyways, I think that was super success, except that I have to say that Delvin fed them in the bowl.
Yeah.
So like the just tossing in the food has not happened yet, but that's
Okay,
okay.
next week.
I hope. Yeah, super success. And then I'm trying to think of like what else has been happening here. Well, for the chicken report. So, you know, as we all know, Shakti is no longer with us, and we did the best we could. We partied for her and gave her a beautiful vigil, and you know, I think like her spirit was coming out of my hand in a picture of smoke from the incense. Anyways, so Poe, who was her companion since he was like this big, which was probably only like a month and a half ago, is now like this big, and might be a rooster. That's okay. And Poe's like super adventurous. So Poe would Pinguino, Oshun, Houdin, but now Houdini. Poe. That's what Poe stands for. Anyways, would hang out with Shakti. And so when we got back from the Hawaiian Islands, I told Ken, I'm like, you know, he's gonna be really big. She is gonna be really big, and we should just let him out. But Poe decided he would always stay with Shakti, and sometimes would just like lay down next to her and hang out all day long. And now that Shakti is no longer here, Poe is like super adventure, going possibly way too far, but kind of likes to hang out where people are working. So if I'm working, Poe's kind of in the area, and if Delvin's over somewhere, like Poe might go visit Delvin. So hopefully Poe doesn't get too adventurous and go beyond like the limits of Rancho Delicioso, but Poe is so cute and so stylish with the feathers and looks great at any angle. It just like, I feel like we have a farm.
Okay, so also, chickens are sexed when they're born.
Oh,
And sometimes, rarely, they get it wrong. But there's a chance. Out of our 5 chickens, we have 5 boys, which is just, I mean, that's all, that, you know, it's impossible odds. So we're hoping.
impossible.
We're hoping we have 5 hens, but it's looking really doubtful. We'll let you know as soon as we have some proof. We still have no eggs.
Yeah, no eggs, but I think they're coming soon. So the ones that we think are girls are smaller than the 2 other ones. So basically, Rosie may now be Rick, and then Shiro is now probably Hero. Mm-hmm. So Rick and Hero, they look more like roosters. Like every day, they look more like roosters. They're getting the bigger crest, the bigger jowl things, the bigger tail feathers that are gonna be super beautiful to put in my hair later. And they're bigger, kind of taller, and then the girls kind of look like almost like they have more boobs, you know, like they just look different. And I heard one of them, I don't know if it was Rick or Hero, they did the cockle-doodle-doo yesterday. And Delvin says Poe does that. I have not heard Poe do it, so I'm not sure if Poe is boy or girl.
We'll see.
But it is possible we have 3 out of 5 as roosters.
All right.
Anyways, well, thanks everyone for tuning in today. Matthew, Brian, Jules all jumped on later, and Hope again. Thank you. Sending you all lots of love.
Oh,
Happy Friday.
Also, I'm wearing a classic Crystal Method t-shirt today.
Yes.
The Crystal Method, Scott has a new single and video out called Housebroken.
Yeah, and super fun, and that's
Super cool.
Tokyo.
And he'll have a brand new album coming out within a month. The album's called The Trip Out. So play it, stream it, buy it, go see him play live.
Yeah, and the video is really cool. Naz Tokyo is such a badass. That's the female collaborator on the new Housebroken track. So she's.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Ciao.
see you next week. Oh,